There it is there. It's still loading to the channel. Still loading to the channel. Dear me. That one. Right. So, the stream's up, the chat's up, we're all good to go. Hello and welcome everyone to round 5 of the PlayStation Pacific Elite Series here on Race Spec Esports. We are back, and this time at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps for the Belgian Grand Prix. This legendary all-time classic racetrack began its life all the way back in the 1920s and has grown to become a fan favourite on the Formula One calendar. The intense 7-kilometre, 19-turn circuit is not one to be taken lightly. It's a circuit where, if you wish to compete towards the front, you must push right to the limit and find the edge of grip and control. It rewards those who are brave and determined, but can severely punish even the slightest misjudgment. There are several sections here where drivers can easily end their race, such as Turn 10, the high-speed left-hander of Pujon and its deadly inside curb. And of course the most famous parts of the circuit, Turns 2, 3 and 4, that form the Eau Rouge Raidillon complex. The primary overtaking opportunities are with the assistance of DRS into Turn 1, La Source, and Turn 5, Les Combes, coming off the Camel Straight. We may also see some overtaking into this S-section that Oz Formula is going through now, that forms Turns 12 and 13, and of course a bus stop chicane at the end of the racetrack. We might see a bit of action there. All in all, it's a roller coaster ride unlike any other. A lap that requires the absolute most out of any driver and machine. So let's see who rises to the occasion and try to claim top spot on one of the world's mightiest racetracks. Now, a bit of news from last race over in the Netherlands at Circuit Zandvoort. There were 2 incident reports, both involving the driver ACW. For both incidents, he copped a 10-second time penalty and 2 penalty points. And then for the second incident, he copped a 5-second penalty and 1 penalty point. So collectively, he copped 15 seconds. As a result, he dropped down from P3 down to P6 in the final results. As it stands, Oz Formula, who is on screen now, is currently leading the championship on 122 points, followed by I Contrast on 89 points, 33 behind Oz Formula. ACW in third on 59, followed closely behind Plebs and Pump 46. Plebs on 57, Pump on 53. So a fairly close battle between ACW, Pump and Plebs. I think with everything out of the way in terms of news from last week, we could focus on qualifying itself, and we can also have a look at Oz Formula's unique racing line at the exit of Turn 9, No Name. There's a strip of AstroTurf, between Turn 9 and Turn 10, and it seems that it's a bit quicker if you use that strip of AstroTurf. That way you can open up the exit of Turn 9 and open up the entry of Turn 10. It's very, very unique. I haven't seen somebody do that before until I watched the Pacific Tier 1 race earlier in the week. It's rather fascinating to me. But it's very intriguing to see how drivers manipulate the track limits in order to maximize lap time. And I believe everybody is... Ooh. Well, I say everybody. There's one driver out, and that's ACW crashing out just before Turn 7. He lost control of the car at Turn 6, and he ended up in the barrier at Turn 7. He's our first retirement in this qualifying session. So he'll be starting from the back of the field. Nick jumps up to the top of the table as Pump is using that same line that Oz Formula used between Turn 9 and 10. I have to say, it's very, very unique. I never ever thought of using that strip of AstroTurf. I didn't think the game would allow you, but it does, which is rather remarkable. There's McLaren slow in the second sector. It's Hillett. Ooh, don't hit that tyre barrier. Gets back on the racetrack. He almost went into the barrier on the outside of the circuit. Fortunately, he didn't. Leo and Oz Formula, you've both invalidated. Players coming around Pouhon. Turn 10, then turn 11. It's a very demanding bit of racetrack. You have to be cautious. Oh, as Plebs loses control at turn 12. You have to be very cautious of the inside curb at turn 10. You touch it, you spin. It's very simple. But it rewards commitment because you can take a lot of speed through that curve if you're brave enough. But it's sort of that risk versus reward thing where you can gain a lot, but you can lose so much more if you make a mistake. Players comes around the final turn. Will come across the line to set a 43.361. He jumps to the top of the table. Ferrari Pro currently on a flying lap. Oh, and invalidates at the exit of turn 7. Hillez on a flying lap. All right, on board with the McLaren driver. Take you on a tour of Spa. Exiting the first turn, La Source, come down the hill towards Eau Rouge and Radillon. In the dry conditions, it's absolutely flat out. Can't say the same in the wet conditions though. Heading on to the Kemmel Straight, you'll open DRS. Heading towards Lecom. Speedo climbing over 325 kilometers an hour into the braking zone. Through turns 5 and 6 into turn 7. Missing the apex a little bit. And all in all, pretty smooth so far. Through turn 8. And into no-name turn 9. Uses a little bit of the curve on the... Oh, and invalidates. Running wide there. Costly error, but very easy to do. Very, very easy to do. BP and Anthro getting ready to set flying laps. They're coming through the third sector now. Hello, KD. And hello to the other viewers watching. Hopefully this will be an enjoyable race. Only 15 cars tonight, but, you know, it could be worse. But still, field size doesn't dictate race quality, so still hopeful for a really solid race. We're right on board with Anthro. Hopefully we'll get a full guided tour of the circuit. So again, coming through La Source, turn 1. Second gear, nicely modulates the throttle. Again, these guys aren't using any assists, so no traction control, no ABS, no racing line, no nothing. So you have to be incredibly careful through a lot of the corners here. Heading down the Kemmel Straight towards turn 5. Slams on the brakes. Now just before the 50 board, 4th gear. It's through the chicane, not touching the curbs. That's probably quite a sensible ploy. They are quite dangerous through the chicane. Through turn 8 now, 3rd gear, gently on the throttle. Nice and tidy through there. Through no name, 5th gear. Doesn't run too wide on the exit. Now into Pouhon. 7th gear, misses the apex, but that's alright. We've still got plenty of time left in the session. He'll know that. I'm sure he'll rectify that mistake on the next flying lap. Through turn 12, then turn 13. Then into Stavilo, turn 14. This completes the second sector. Through turn 15, where I've seen quite a few accidents in my time as a commentator. Up the hill towards Blanchimont. First turn 16, then into Blanchimont, turn 17. Flat out, no hint of a lift. Into the bus stop chicane now, brings it down to 2nd gear. Keeps it in 2nd through the final corner. DRS open, up to the line. Anthro goes 7th fastest with a 1:44.360. Fair few drivers on outlaps at the moment. Got a few drivers on flying laps as well. I contrast one of them. Same with Leo. He's coming through turn 8. And Oz Formula, who's just exited turn 11. Yes, Izzad, ACW crashed at the entry to turn 7. Lost control at turn 6 and put it into the barrier at turn 7. So it's qualifying over for ACW. He'll likely start from the back of the field. Through Blanchimont comes Oz Formula. Towards the chicane now. Slams on the anchors, brings it down to third gear. Keeps it in third through the final corner. Opens DRS up to the finish line. That is a pretty quick lap, and considering he did that on the mediums as well. He did that on the mediums. Did a 43-1 on the mediums, my goodness. That caught me completely off guard. Oz Formula's got some serious pace in that Alpine. Players starting a flying lap, coming around turn 1. Fairly tidy through there. Nick has retired from the session. He has crashed out at turn 13. There he is there. Lost control and ended up in the outside barrier. Contrast went back into the pits, and that's not a very competitive lap there from Leo. I see what he did. He did effectively 2 out laps just to try and dump as much fuel as he could. He's up by 57 thousandths of a second. Oh, and lost control there. He'll have to back out of this lap. He had a massive moment exiting turn 6. But unlike ACW, he's still in the session. BP, you're on a flying lap as Ferrari Pro jumps to the top of the table with a 42.9. Heading onto the Camel Straight towards turns 5 and 6. On the medium tyre as well. Oh, and again, very similar story to Leo. Just lost control of the car at turn 6. You can hear the engine note as he begins to slide. He goes off the throttle to try and catch the car. When running wide and invalidating. Again, a very easy thing to do at no name. There's so much curb on the outside, you're sort of tempted to use all of it, but if you do, you obviously invalidate. Here, Les, what are you doing? Black stuff equals good, green stuff equals bad, so stay off the green stuff. And Hillers went on the green stuff though. Nice wide line through the final corner to carry as much speed as he possibly can down the pit straightaway. Heading towards turn 1. The anchors, locks up, but hits his 8. Oh, sideways on the exit though, losing time. Just got on the throttle too early. Car lost control, but he managed to gather it back up. Looks like and he's invalidated at Radion. Again, quite easy to do. The car gets very unstable right at the top of Radion. You have very little in terms of grip, so yeah, if you don't get your line right through turns 2 and 3, you can easily stuff up turn 4 and invalidate, just like Hillers did there. Also, I've noticed Pump 46 has jumped up to second place with a 43, almost a 43 flat, almost. He's 1/1000th off a 43 flat. But still, he's very close to pole position. Contrast exiting turn 1, yet to set a lap time. Tad bit concerning. See if he can string one together here through turns 3 and 4. Heads onto the Kemmel Straight. Opens DRS. Now we saw speeds of about 325 kilometers an hour. And we see a similar speed here as he heads into Lacombe. Purple to the first sector apparently. Gets through turn 6 pretty okay. Through turn 7. Perhaps a bit of an awkward run. He was a bit narrow into turn 7. compromising his corner speed through the right-hander. Through No-Name now, down the hill towards Puhon. Nice and tidy there. Keeps it within the white lines. Through turn 12. 5th gear. Keeps it in 5th through 13. Into turn 14. Stavilo. Very tidy. Apparently purple to the middle sector. Through 16. Then turn 17. Blanchimont. Flat out at 310 kilometers an hour. Heading into the bus stop chicane. Brings it down to 2nd gear. Nice and tidy at the end of the circuit. Opens DRS up to the line. Contrast jumps to pole position with a 142.768. Just under 2/10 faster than F1 Ferrari Pro. Was Formula on an outlap. Same with Zach, Black Moon, Roscoe Arm, Anthro on a flying lap. He's down in the 1st sector. Shouldn't be too concerned with that. Oh, you might be a bit more concerned about that though. He was very, very wide at 13. You see he's now up by 15 thousandths, but it's been a fairly scruffy 2nd sector. The bulk of the time in qualifying can be found in that 2nd sector. But a lot of time can be lost in that 2nd sector too. Through the chicane, he will complete this lap. Up to the stripe. He's improved by 38 thousandths. It's not enough to move him up the leaderboard. A few drivers getting ready to set their final flying laps. The first of which will be G-Force Zach, our contrast teammate. Makes his way onto the pit straight towards La Source. Needs to improve by 1/2 tenth if he wants to improve position. Coming through the 1st sector. Fairly tidy through Eau Rouge and Radion. Heading towards the 1st sector split. Zach has improved by 3/4 of a tenth of a second. Roscoe Arm has found 2/10 in the 1st sector. That's a great improvement from the Haas driver. Coming around the hairpin of turn 8, down the hill towards No-Name. Brings it down to 4th gear, back to 5th to maximise traction. Contrast and Ferrari Pro, their sessions are over. Can anyone snag pole position away from iContrast? We'll have to wait and see. Zach through turns 12 and 13. Fairly tidy so far from the Aston Martin driver. Around Stavilo. Sector 2 says, oh, he invalidates, a costly invalidation, and he spins out in front of Roscoe Arm. Oh, he won't impede Roscoe Arm, thank goodness. Through 16 into turn 17. Two more corners left. The bus stop chicane brings it down to 2nd. Keeps it in 2nd. Will he short shift? Yes, he will. Opens DRS up to the line. Roscoe Arm jumps to P5 with a 143.137. Blackburn coming to the end of his flying lap. He's got BP V8 right behind. Through the bus stop we go. There's BP. So Black Moon, does he improve? Up to the line. He does improve. P6. BP. Oh, he must have invalidated, so he starts from 15th. Pump coming through. No, he won't be improving. Plebs does improve with a 42.492. He takes pole position. Leo has invalidated, so he can't take it. Powersight, his qualifying is over. Same with Hiles, so it's Plebs on pole. Gilles invalidating on his final flying lap. He'll be starting 13th. So astonishingly for ACW, even though he crashed out right at the beginning of qualifying, he'll be starting 14th, according to that leaderboard. And Nick, who crashed out in the middle of qualifying, will start P8. There you go. But here's the man on pole, Plevs. About 2.5 tenths clear of eye contrast, completing his lap on the soft tyre. You can see everyone in the top 10 has qualified on the softs except for 2 drivers, Oz Formula and Leo in 10th place. They're going to be starting on the mediums. So there we are. 2 3/4 tenths of a second separating the top 2 at the end of qualifying. Ferrari Pro will start 3rd, Pump in P4. Oz Formula 5th on the mediums. Roscoe Arm in P6. Black Moon in 7th. Nick in 8th. Zach in 9th. And Leo rounds out the top 10, also on the medium tyre. And there's Anthro, Powersight, Gilles, ACW, then BP V8 will start from the back of the field. These 3 drivers did not set a single lap time over the course of qualifying. There you go. Just really shows you how difficult this track can be, even in qualifying, when you're by yourself on the racetrack. It is so incredibly easy to make mistakes around here. It really is a proper test for the driver. Heading into the race now. I don't know if we'll see any wet weather conditions. No, we probably won't. It looks like blue skies past the trees there in the background, so I don't think we'll see any wet weather interference, which means strategy should be fairly straightforward. It should be soft medium, or the alternate strategy would be medium soft. Hard tyre is a bit useless around here. Spa, there's no tie deg whatsoever, so you can afford to just chuck on the mediums, and you can pretty much do 22 laps with little to no issue. So yeah, strategy should be fairly straightforward. It'll be interesting to see though what the drivers outside the top 10 do. I imagine a couple of them will start on the soft tyre. Let's have a look. In terms of detail. Interesting. Don't need that. Actually, that's all we need. So, Oz Formula starting on the mediums. We knew that. Same with Leo on P10. Anther on the soft tyre. Powersight on the hards. I don't know why you would do that. Easy soft medium. Anyway, Gilles in P13, ACW in P14, and BPV8 from the back of the field. We'll start on the medium tyre. So we've got 4 drivers on the mediums, 1 driver on the hards, rest are on the soft tyre. There's the predicted tyre stop strategy. Lap 7 to 9 is the pit window to go onto the hards, where you can quite easily go from the softs to mediums at about that same pit window. So this should be quite interesting. And I wonder how Oz Formula will fare right at the beginning of the race, considering he's on the mediums. He's quite literally sandwiched by a field of soft tyres. He's got 4 soft runners in front of him. He's got 4 soft runners behind him. Logic dictates that Oz Formula won't get a great start because he has less grip compared to the soft tyre. It's that simple. But we know how quick Oz Formula is. He's won 4 races in a row for a reason, so. And I'd be interested to see how Leo fares as well in P10. Leo can just snag a result just out of thin air, and he's on the alternate strategy, so he might not have the best of starts, but I'm fully expecting him to have a massive comeback towards the back end of the race. And hey, if Oz Formula and Leo, perhaps ACW and BP as well, if they get great starts, then they're in a really great position towards the end of the race. And we'll probably see a safety car. This is Spa, of course. And that will shake things up as it usually does. But we'll get rid of the tyre, we'll get rid of the interval, just to increase the viewing space here. We can get this race underway here at Spa. So everyone's lined up and ready to race. We have 5 red lights, and it's lights out, and away we go. Plebs converts well off the line. So does Zach. He's down the inside looking for a few positions. Round the outside, Eye Contrast looks. Can't quite get it done. They go down the hill towards Eau Rouge. Plebs hangs on for now as they head through the high-speed S section. Midfield making their way through with relative ease. There hasn't been any yellow flag being displayed. Down towards Lacon we go, and here comes Ferrari Pro. Ferrari's got a low straight line speed. It's 3 wide. This could be nasty. They're interlocking. Ooh. That's not good. That's desync if I ever saw it. That is really not good. Down the inside. Pump. He's side by side with Eye Contrast. Heading through No Name. But that was very strange. I haven't seen that in such a long time. That where you see 2 drivers quite literally drive within each other. Do they not see one another? That's fascinating. But giving some praise to the drivers, that is a really, really good start. No incidents whatsoever. Everyone's behaving themselves, which is always great to see. Heading around Blanchimont towards the bus stop chicane. Through they go. All in this nice long train. Was Formula trying to get by. But a really controlled start. Really good to see. Here comes Oz Formula. Side by side. Pump hangs on to the position. And there's the pit stop strategy for Pump. Pit window lap 8 to 9. To go onto the medium tire. Here comes the Alpine. In the slipstream. Will he look to the inside? No, he looks to the outside. Heading around turn 5. Commits to it too. What a move. Bit of a bump there from Pump. But a great move from Oz Formula. Round the outside. Remain committed to it. And it just shows that the medium tyre isn't too bad compared to the soft tyre. Even after 2 laps of race running. Using that unique racing line into turn 10. All running wide there. I believe that was Nick in the Alfa Romeo. No, this is a really good start. Really good to see. Everyone just behaving themselves. In sector 3. And so trying to close the gap on Black Moon. They head towards the bus stop chicane. Get close enough to attack, perhaps? Not quite, is the answer. Plev setting another fastest lap. He's charging out in front. That was Power Sight in the background, losing the back end of his Alpine. Look at this colossal train. Massive. Heading through Eau Rouge and Radion. This is actually quite a cool shot with the cars going through the section. I'm pretty sure Nick cut turn 4 there. That's probably a warning. And here comes Eye Contrast. He's got to run. Ferrari Pro defends the inside into turn 5. They go there side by side. through turn 6, and Eye Contrast is into P2. Great move there. Great driving from both of them as well. There was very... Oh, and hello, was Formula. He's through into third. Oh, contact between the two. Into Pujon we go. Oh, and that is Powersight and Hillez. Look at that. Hillez coming to a dead stop. Powersight getting going. They are a long, long way behind the pack now. Ferrari Pro, he's lost a fair amount of ground. Does he have damage, perhaps? He's got pump all over his gearbox as they head towards Blanchimont. Visually, his car looks okay. Into the chicane we go. There's Roscoe Arm. And into the pits goes Ferrari Pro. I reckon he does have damage. He wouldn't be pitting this early strategically. He must have damage. He'll probably chuck on the set of mediums and try and go to the end. Safer option would be to go onto the hard tyre. No, it's a set of mediums. I think that's a better option. Safe option is to go onto the hards. Better option, mediums, for sure. Outside in Hillez. Battling for points, as it were, because in Race Spec the top 15 score points, and it just so happens there's 15 cars in total in this race. So everyone who finishes this will score something. So, oh, and Hillez has a massive moment at the top of Radion. There's the top 3. Oh, very wide there. Very wide. Through turns 12. Oh, and a big snap there from Eye Contrast. Here comes Oz Formula. He's on the back of the Aston Martin. Through Stavilo. Contrast has to be a little bit careful. His tyres will be a tad bit hot from that slide. Now he'll be alright. Through Blanchimont towards the bus stop chicane. It's been a very clean start from Oz Formula, making his way through. Except, of course, that contact between him and Ferrari Pro. It's the only bit of contact I've really seen. Nick is into the pits. And Powersight is out of the race. Crashing out at turn 15. Do we see a safety car? Not yet. Doesn't look like we're having a safety car. Here comes Oz Formula. A very simple move. He is through into second. Roscoe making his way by pump for 4th place. Desperately trying to catch up to the top 3. See the position change. Oz Formula up 3. Roscoe up 2. Zach and Leo up 3. BP up 7. Great start from him. ACW up 4. Biggest losers. Nick down 4. Ferrari Pro down 10. As Leo cops a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. First penalty for tonight as he runs wide at Pujon. That's the tyre scenario. Bring up the intervals as well. Oz Formula continuously closing the gap. Gap is half a second between him and Plevs. Into the bus stop we go. Oz Formula, he'll close up a little bit more with the help of DRS as Ferrari Pro gets a 3-second time penalty. Heading towards the hairpin. Down they go. Down the hill. And our Contrast has lost time. Look at that, 1.4 seconds now the margin. This should be a fairly simple move here for Oz Formula. There he goes, into the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix. Roscoe into third place. Bit of a change there, BP overtaking Leo, and I'm pretty sure ACW overtook Black Moon for 9th. A couple of drivers moving their way up through the leaderboard. Fantastic aerial shot here, looking over the Ardennes forest. Whoa. Leo, another small moment. There's ACW utilising that esports line as Powerside has left the session. ACW continuously closing in. By contrast, hanging on to the back of Roscoe, closing the gap. Or at least trying to close the gap. Heading into the bus stop chicane. This is steady through turns 18 and 19 as Oz Formula gets fastest lap, and Hillez has made a mistake at the exit of turn 13. Gets it going again. ACW now right on the back of Leo. He should be able to make a move stick down the Camel Straight. Zach right on the back of Pump. This should be a fairly simple move too. Or maybe not, seeing as Pump does have DRS. He's drawing alongside, heading towards turn 5. Not quite. For Zach, oh, as he has a moment. The exit of turn 6. Look at how much ground he lost with that mistake. Very me. See the cars in front. You can see Roscoe in his Haas. You can see Eye Contrast in the Aston. Pump right ahead. Oh, and a bit of a moment there for Pump as well at the entry to turn 10. But it hasn't cost him too much momentum. Car looks like it's understeering a little bit as well. Now, I can barely see it, but we do have the tyre temps on the steering wheel. They're very small, very difficult to see, but you can see through the two left-handers of turns 14 and 15, his left side tyres were in 3-digit temperatures, so perhaps he might have a bit of an overheating issue at the moment, which is why the car looks like it's understeering a lot. Perhaps he has a bit too much pressure in the tyres, or maybe too much camber. I'm not 100% sure, but the car does look like, it does look like, I can't speak. It does look like it's understeering for a few of those corners here. But ideally, as ACW cops a 3-second time penalty and moves by Leo into 8th place. Ideally, you don't want the temperatures to creep over 3 figures. You want to stay in the 90s for as long as you can. As soon as it goes into 100 degrees Celsius and over, the tyres really do start to lose a lot of grip. And the tyre wear increases a lot as well. One of the things that drivers really have to look out for over the course of a race, managing those tyre temps to stay within an optimal range so then they don't lose grip. Through the flat out third sector now. Contrast keeping up with Roscoe. Actually got a bit of a run here. He might have a look on the Kemmel straight. As Plebs goes into pit lane, so does Roscoe and Pump. All ducking in. I reckon Zach could have taken that opportunity to pit in as well to get onto the medium tyre. Try and split the Aston Martin strategy. But he's elected to stay out. BP right on the back of Zach. Through Eau Rouge, then Radion. Here comes the Haas. Goes alongside and through into third. Nice overtake there. Very simple. Oh, Leo had a run. Didn't want to overtake though. That was very close. Through. Oh, and Leo has another moment. This time at turn 8. Loses a 10th. And he uses that racing line. You can see it's very, very different. I don't know how you can get away with that, but that is incredible that you can get away with that. Through the third sector now, gap is 6/10. He's using up overtake here, heading up the hill. Around Blanchimont towards the bus stop. Gap is half a second as Eye Contrast goes into the pits. He'll change onto the medium tyre. There he is there, just in the right of shot as Leo was crossing the start-finish line. Oh, ACW, a bit of an awkward run at the exit of turn 1. Down the hill, Leo, he's got momentum. Should be able to make this move stick. And he will. He'll be going into P4. We've got Plebs, Roscoe Arm. We've got Pump, Eye Contrast. He'll get a sneaky bit of DRS here. And he'll pass Pump into P9. Provisional P3, I reckon. So here are your effective top 2 with Plebs and Roscoe Arm. It depends on how much of an undercut Plebs, Roscoe Arm, Eye Contrast get on Oz Formula. Plebs using that racing line now and throw. Oh, that's awkward. I don't know why he drove right to the left for. You don't need to do that. I get he's probably just trying to get out of the way, but there's no need to drive yourself that narrow. Really compromise Roscoe Arm. Oh, Eye Contrast getting around the outside. Here comes Pump. Oh, very slow through there. Pump checked up. Good bit of awareness there from the Mercedes driver. He's clearly in Valtteri Bottas's car. Clearly. Has that 99 awareness stat. In comes Zach. Going on to a set of mediums. So a bit of an overcut here from Zach, and don't tell me. Oh, okay, good. That was just a glitch. It's alright. I'm like, why are they holding him in the pits for so long? That's why. It's just a glitch. There's Ferrari Pro, so comes out in a fairly nice position. ACW getting back by into third place. Down the hill towards turn 8. Can't really make a move here, but you can so easily make a mistake. Again, using this unique racing line. Still struggle to fathom how you're allowed to do that, but anyway. The game just allows you to do it. I guess Codemasters never thought about it. That strip of AstroTurf there. How it can be utilised. I mean, full credit to the drivers using it. It's not illegal. Might as well use it. And credit to the person who worked that out. That you can use that bit of AstroTurf. I mean, who thinks of that? Honestly, as that is Hillers. Not having a great night. But he needs to just keep digging, get to the finish. He will score a couple of points for himself and for McLaren. Got to think of the bigger picture. Might see a change in position here between ACW and Leo. They head onto the Camel Straight. Leo will open DRS and he'll slingshot by the AlphaTauri. Fairly elementary stuff. High contrast closing in on Roscoe through Lake Holm. Down the hill. Around turn 8. You can see him moving to the left there at the entry to turn 8 just to try and open up the corner as much as he can. Down the hill towards Pouhon. Gap is still 6/10. Needs to find a run to try and close that gap to Roscoe and then complete the pass after Radion. Gap's still about 6/10. He needs to close it to about 4 or so. In fact, that gap has opened up just a little bit to almost 7/10. Ferrari Pro closing onto the back of Zach. Gap of 6/10. That Ferrari also had some straight line speed too, so might see a pass here very shortly. Around the bus stop chicane. Leo and ACW, what are you? Oh, hello. Leo was off the racetrack. Through the chicane. High speed S section of Eau Rouge and Radion, and Leo will get back by into third. Very simple. Ferrari Pro will close in by quite a bit as Oz Formula gets his first penalty. 3 second time penalty for multiple warnings. He got that at no name as well, considering where his dot is on the racetrack. He must have got it at turn 9. Towards the S section of turns 12 and 13. High contrast just chipping away. Trying to get that little bit closer to Roscoe. To his credit, Roscoe is driving superbly out there. A little buckling under pressure, just getting his head down, doing his own thing. He's almost within a second of Plevs. Might get DRS soon. Just have to wait and see. And that gap has almost increased to a second between High Contrast and Roscoe, and Ferrari Pro has gotten by Zach into 9th, overtaking at the bus stop chicane. Oh, but running what? I reckon he's redressing the position there. So perhaps these two tangled at the bus stop. Ferrari Pro opened up the steering to let him back through. Or it's a tactical thing so he can get DRS and do this. Bye, Zach. So it was either a redress or a tactical decision from Ferrari Pro. Whichever way you look at it, he's now in 9th. Roscoe Arm, his first penalty for this evening. 3 seconds for multiple warnings. Very few drivers left who haven't got a penalty. BP in 2nd place, Plevs in 5th. Eye Contrast on screen right now in 7th. Zach in P10, so neither Aston Martin has gotten a penalty yet. And Black Moon in P12 hasn't got a penalty. And I think that's Oz Formula coming into the pits, is it not? It is. Then he comes. He'll be going on to the soft tyre. He and BP are going to be quite rapid, and Leo, I think, no, that was ACW coming in. ACW. So they're going on to the soft tyre. Don't tell me he gets out in front of all. He does. Incredible. Hillez is out as well. He's crashed at No Name. And a safety car has been deployed. Well, this has helped BP and Leo out just a little bit. And this has definitely not helped ACW out. Unless, of course, everyone here pit for soft tyres. In which case, ACW's pit stop would mean pretty much nothing. Well, actually, in fact, no, this will help ACW out regardless of how you look at it, because this will bunch up the field, which will ultimately benefit him, now that I think about it. So this has put ACW in a fantastic position. It's either he's in P10, and pretty much everyone in front of him is on old mediums, or he's going to move up a few positions because the people in front pit for soft tyres. Either way, it's pretty positive for ACW. Probably that much more positive for Oz Formula. And Leo and BP. But for everyone in between P4 and P9, they've got a bit of a game to play. Do they pit for soft tyres, or do they stay out and take the track position? Let's find out. BP in to go onto the softs. Leo will do the same. Oz Formula will stay out. Plebs, what do you do? You're coming in. Roscoe Arm coming in. Eye Contrast coming in. Alright, so they're all going to come in from the looks of things. Every single one of them. There we are. So ACW, where do you jump up? You're up into P. Oh, this is going to be close. Ah, he didn't quite get Leo there. So P4. So pretty much everybody on the alternate strategy, everybody, Oz Formula, BP, Leo, ACW, they all did the alternate strat. They're now first, second, third and fourth. There you go. They're the ones who benefit from this. This has really shook things up. So nobody stayed out to keep the track position. Very interesting. I thought maybe one or two may gamble with it, with the track position, but no, they're onto soft tyres, straight onto the soft tyre. Very interesting. I love it. What it means is that everyone's going to send it. They've got all the grip in the world. The cars are light. The track's rubbered in. There's not a single cloud in sight. They're just going to send it. They're just going to absolutely send it. And penalties are going to play quite the factor in the results of this race. Let's actually have a look at those penalties. So as Formula has 3, Leo has 3, HCW has 3. Same with Roscoe Arm and Pump. Ferrari Pro and Nick, they have 6 seconds each. And Anthro in 13th place is on 3 seconds. But I'm pretty sure he's on a set of mediums, so he'll probably pit in to put on another set of softs, I imagine. You want to be on that soft tire. Unless he has no fresh softs available to him, then he'll stay out. No, he's staying out, so obviously there's no softs available to use. I reckon the safety car will be in this lap, so we'll have between lap 18 to lap 22 of green flag racing. 5 laps as Hilez has left the session. His retirement brought out this safety car, and this has really spiced up the race. Now, Feroz Formula needs to nail the restart and not give BP any opportunity to try and pass. Not only that, but he needs to pull away by 3 seconds. Otherwise, BP can snag victory away from him. Ideally for his Formula, he needs to get a good start first of all, and he needs Leo to get a good start as well, and try and put pressure on BP very, very early. Just so then Oz Formula can build up that margin on the first restart lap. This is going to be very interesting. And also we've got to consider Plev's eye contrast. They have no penalties. Same with Zach and Black Moon. They can benefit massively so long as they don't make a mistake. Drivers getting some temperature into their tyres, getting ready for the restart. Safety car in this lap, so Oz Formula will take control of the field. Slow everybody up to allow the safety car to take off. Go back into the pit lane. There goes the virtual burned Maylander. Alrighty, when does he go? Get rid of the tyre, get rid of the interval. Don't need any of that. Let's just see what happens here. There's Formula waiting patiently. Through the bus stop. Here we go. And Pump gets a 5-second penalty, a severe collision with Ferrari Pro. As Ferrari Pro goes into the pit lane. We're back on the green flag racing here at Spa. We have 5 laps to go. Down towards Eau Rouge and Radion. Oz Formula, it's been a pretty good restart. He's built up a margin already. The BP, he's not going to let him go. BP needs to drive like hell if he wants to keep up with the current championship leader. Needs to stay within that 3-second margin. All in all though, it's been a fairly good restart for everybody. There was Ferrari Pro though. He's back out on track. Suppose he got front wing damage from the restart, which is why he went into the pits. Look at the gap already. That's a big, big gap between Oz Formula and BP. It's even bigger between BP and Leo. BP has got some serious pace. ACW all over the back of Leo here, making their way through turns 12 and 13, heading towards Stavilo. As Leo cops another 3-second time penalty, increasing his tally to 6. Through turn 16. And turn 17, Blanchimont. Into the bus stop. Quite close enough to attack just yet. Leader sets fastest lap and begins lap 19 of 22. Here at Spa, we have 4 laps to go. Look at this train, 5 cars in this train. All of them line astern, and Pump isn't too far behind in P8. Tour Rouge. Then Radiot. Oh, and almost running off the circuit there, Leo. ACW tries to draw alongside. He is past. Can Leo fight back into turn 5? He can't. ACW into third. Gap at the front, 1.8 seconds. We need to keep an eye on that. That gap cannot increase to over 3 seconds for BP. It needs to stay within a 3-second margin. Through turns 12 and 13. Look at these guys, all closely bunched together. How desperate will they fight? In fact, ACW and Leo have pulled away just a little bit. Gap has opened up to almost a second between Leo and Plebs. Ferrari Pro, a 3-second time penalty. He's down in 13th. He just needs to finish. That's all he needs to do. DRS is now enabled. The gap is now almost 2 seconds with 3 laps to go. Lap 20, 21 and 22. That's all that's left. BP cannot lose another second towards Formula. Needs to give it everything. Now Leo will close in on ACW here. He opens DRS. There's Plebs. He too will have DRS, I'm pretty sure he does. Leo now right on the back of ACW. Through Lecom into turn 7. Purple to the first sector as well was Leo, as you'd expect with DRS on fresh soft tyres and a light car. Down through turn 9. And using that unique racing line. Through Pujon. Oh, and a big moment there from Leo. Here comes Plebs. He's now got a run. Leo defends into turn 12. Plebs around the outside, gets it done, into 4th place. But a massive moment there from Leo at turn 10. Almost cost him everything, almost. But he managed to gather it back up. He's still in this fight. But with that mistake and his 6 seconds worth of penalties, he's certainly on the back foot. Fairly important stuff at the front of the field as well. The gap hasn't really increased. It stayed at about 2 seconds over the course of that lap. We got 2 laps to go. Gap of about 2.2 seconds. There's a penalty count. The all-important penalty count. Now Leo, he'll get DRS. Through Eau Rouge. Then Radion. He'll open DRS and use up his overtake. He's closing in. Gaining, heading towards turn 5. Does he look? No. Wasn't close enough. Gap has increased to 2.5 seconds between the top 2. High Contrast is in this too. He's got no penalties. Oh, and onto the grass goes Leo. A costly mistake. Oh, and a big tank slapper. He's got he's got Contrast right behind, who actually had to back off a little bit to avoid contact. Nick, a 3-second time penalty. And BP V8 in 2nd place. And off the road is ACW, spinning out at Pujon. So BP has now got a 3-second time penalty. His chance for a race win is over. There's been a few accidents. Plebs has spun off too at turn 10. So ACW and Plebs losing a whole heap of ground. Promoted a few drivers up the order. By contrast, now on course to take that final podium spot. It was going to be Plebs. Not anymore. Sector 2 yellows, that's Ferrari Pro. Out at the front of the field though, it's Oz Formula, and he'll feel very, very happy about the fact that BP got a penalty. He now can just cruise to the finish. He's got a big margin to second place. They're both on equal terms in terms of penalties now. He'll be very relieved. Pump and Nick battling for position. Pump has 11 seconds worth of penalties. Black Moon overtaking Roscoe Arm for P8. Oz Formula. Oh, it's back on! It's back on! Oz Formula copped another penalty. He now has 6 seconds. Can BP pull out something? He needs to close in by about 0.4 of a second. He's got half the lap to do it. This has to be the greatest Sector 3 BP's life if he wants to try and claim this. Oz Formula, the pressure's back on. A costly mistake. And any error through this final chicane will cost him dearly. Through we go, through 18, through 19. Keeps it tidy. He's coming up to the flag. Can he hang on? The answer is yes. He hangs on by 0.4 of a second. Oz Formula claiming his 5th win of the season here at Spa. BP hangs on to second place. By contrast, completes the podium in 3rd, claiming his 5th podium in a row. And a fantastic day for Aston Martin, with GeForce Zach finishing in 4th, Leo in P5, Black Moon P6, Plebs in 7th, ACW in 8th, Nick in 9th, and Pump will round out the top 10. Then Roscoe Arm, Anthro in P12, there'll be Ferrari Pro sideways across the line in 13th. Well then, there's your driver of the day, starting from last, if I remember, from 15th to 2nd. He almost did a last to first. But in the end, it is Oz Formula. Win number 5 from 5 in this Pacific Elite Series. He's been unbeatable. Contrast there on the 3rd step, completing the podium, as I mentioned, his 5th podium in a row. But there we are. Fairly dramatic conclusion to that race. Very close indeed. 0.4 separating the top 2 in the end. But Oz Formula claims victory with fastest lap as well at 1:43.133. BP in 2nd place from 15th on the grid. By contrast, completes the podium in 3rd. Then there's Zach, Leo, Black Moon, Plebs, ACW, Nick, Pump, Roscoe Arm, Anthro, and Ferrari Pro. 2 retirements, Hilles and Powersight. Well, that was certainly quite the dramatic ending. I'm sure a lot of drivers are happy with their performances. I'm sure there are some drivers who aren't so happy. Namely, probably Plebs and ACW. They were in a great position to score some big points here at Spa, but they both spun out at Pujon. losing a whole heap of time and positions. Just shows you really have to be careful around here. You have to remain completely focused all the way from the start of the race to the checkered flag, because even the slightest misjudgment, the track can bite. There we are. Another fantastic race here on the Elite Series. Had some real bangers so far. I'm really enjoying it. But congratulations again to the top three, and congratulations to Oz Formula. Another fine victory to his credit. But with the race finally over, it's time for us to end the stream. Tune in next week as the Pacific Series starts up again on Tuesday, but for the Elite Series, we'll have to wait until next week. Until then, I've been Lane Everingham. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you for round 6 at another legendary racetrack, Formula One's Temple of Speed, Autodromo Nazionale di Monza, for the Italian Grand Prix. Hope to see you there. Good night.